and welcome back to the best thing you watched. Never mind
Call
that.
somebody. I can't even help you. What the heck?
Sorry, but that's actually made me a bit dizzy. Don't worry, we'll deal with the possessed hand as we go through today's episode. Welcome to the best thing you watched. No, stay back. No.
I have an electric knife.
Oh, that might help. Yeah? You best behave yourself. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about horror things today in our podcast. We've got a bunch of horror films to talk about in our audio section, exclusive wherever you're listening to podcast, in our video section, wherever you listen and watch, and as well on the Patreon, the full audio and video section if you're a wonderful Patreon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have Chris from Movies and Munchies, myself, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. That is the general format. Chris will talk to us about who won the competition last week with the 3 movie quotes. I'm thinking he will do another 3. I will ask us a random stupid question, and then we will jump in. But don't forget, our Patreon starts at £1, and that is worth it, I think, because we have over 65 videos there, and we talk about loads of stuff. We have lots of patrons giving us content to talk about, which we will be talking about, particularly one today called what, Chris?
The Harbinger.
The Harbinger.
It's the blue poster, because there's two movies called The Harbinger from 2022.
Right.
There was a bit of confusion there for us.
There was, yes. But yeah, so if you want to join us in the chat that we have on the Patreon, it's good fun just talking about like what we're watching at the time, and then, suggest something to us depending on what tier you're on. Jump on, have a look. You'll see all the descriptions and stuff in our comments section in our videos that we're watching today, or in the audio section wherever you're listening to that. All the information is there. But we should get going, I think.
Yeah, before your hand gets out of control. Okay. Congratulations to Red Comet, and then a brand new winner, which I'm so excited about. Mr. Unrealistic with the Z. got all 3 answers to the movie quote. Is that so distracting? I'm not going to look at you. Last week was The Babysitter, Mayhem, and Guns Akimbo. And the tie within that was Samara Weaving.
Just say Guns Akimbo is such a great film.
Dude, that one it's so bizarre. Like, and it was so awesome to watch Daniel Radcliffe just in some off-the-wall performance.
It's bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah. He was great in Swiss Army Man, too.
For sure.
Even though he was
man.
just a corpse, who farted all the time. That was a weird one also.
It's a genius film, though. It's actually really smart.
It is, but it is, oh my gosh, it's so bizarre.
You don't think a film about a man farting the whole time can be really interesting, but it can, as much as like a possessed hand about it can be interesting.
Exactly. Yes, which I think we'll talk about that later, probably. Huh?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. This week have 3 quotes from 3 different movies. I went easier this time. I think these are going to be fairly simple. We'll see. Okay, you ready? Cool. Death has come to your little town, Sheriff. Number 2, whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Nice.
And number 3, you're doomed. You're all doomed.
There's a theme, right?
There is a theme. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's...
Is it more an obscure theme, or is it a person?
No, it's not a person.
It's not a person.
It's an idea.
It's an idea. Yeah. Okay.
Genre.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Cool.
So
nice.
Let us know in the comments. We'll give you the shout out. Make sure you leave a little bit of space so that your answer doesn't show up and everybody has an opportunity to guess. Ruben, though, what is your random, silly, and
I want to know,
question?
What is the film that you watched as a kid that you shouldn't have, that messed you up? So lots of kids watch horrors, films that are really dark and scary well before they shouldn't. Example, when I was 14, 15, 16. I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which is fine. Scary enough for a 15-year-old or 14-year-old, but my 5-year-old brother was hiding behind the couch with his peeping over his little head watching it. And obviously that messed him up for a bit. It explains a lot about him today. So... Sorry, bro.
Wow.
Is there a film that you watched as a kid that you're like, that really, really messed you up for a bit?
I think, Return of the Living Dead, which watching it now is way more campy. And I mean, I love the movie. It's just, it's great in its own way. But the end of that movie freaked me out, where they're up in the little attic area, you know, when the zombies are coming after them and stuff. And it just, it stuck with me for quite a while. I probably should, I don't know, I was probably 10 maybe when I saw that, 11 maybe, I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
And yeah.
Well, when I was just 5 years old, I think, in a little alleyway in Johannesburg, so that's South Africa, Johannesburg, my father used to run a record store. And inside the record store, there was one very old large box TV in the corner. And I used to be around the counter side because sometimes I was there with him at the record store. And he used to play this game with this thing that was alive, like almost like a dinosaur, but it would like it would come at me like across the counter, like, I'm gonna get you. And it's all cute, but until you associate that with what was playing, Michael Jackson's Thriller music video, it got to be, ooh, we're out in the world, I'm just doing the dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever since that, like for a good 15, 20 years, until I was like way older than I should have been scared of it. Every time I heard even just the intro, I was like, nah. I'm out of here. I remember being for some reason, I think it was a church meeting because my parents were full-time pastors or teachers of some kind in full-time ministry. There was like a midweek meeting. And for some reason, there was a music video that came on because the TV was on, I think, and Thriller came on. I ran out the room screaming. And they were like, Ruben, it's fine. It's not scary. I'm like, yes, it is. Screw you. Why would you do this to me? Yeah.
Oh, funny. Oh, my gosh. Oh, well, that's my wife. She has older brothers, like considerably older brothers, and so she would see movies that were well like she saw The Exorcist well before she should have. I mean, just she got to see all kinds of horror movies like that, which, you know, she's watching them under a blanket or behind a couch,
for sure,
you know, or through the stairs or something, you know, just try.
Has your wife seen The Exorcist since?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
And she loves horror movies too.
Okay.
Especially when they're good, you know,
Yes.
like most people. And then, you know, stupid horror movies, she's like, ugh, which I make her endure a lot of stupid movies.
Sorry, I'll stop distracting you now.
Oh, that was great. So yeah, let us know. I'd love to hear what movies freaked you out as a child, or that you watched that you probably shouldn't have at such a young age. Oh, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of variety there. But you want to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Funny enough, all of my movies this week that go on the best thing I watched are horror movies.
Nice.
Yeah, not planned, but just how it worked out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? I don't know how many you have. I have 3.
Sure. This was a rare week for me where I think the first two that I'm going to talk about are 5. I gave them 5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. So not only did I think they were good, I thought they were excellent. The first one I'm talking about is an anime. I mentioned it to you a little bit this week that there was this adaptation from a manga that is based around the story of Astro Boy. Astro Boy, really old story. It's been gone for a while. This version of it is like a very adult version. It's called Pluto and centers around the idea where we live in a world where AI is built into robots and humans coexist normally and have done for quite a while. Except there is always going to be those that think that machines should be wiped out. There's going to be things that they don't deserve to have equal rights. That kind of stuff. So it's like that kind of world that we start out in. In this world, there are 7 of the most powerful robots in different forms. Like one is like a really great fighter. One has a special set of abilities that they're able to do. There was a great war between the Persia country that for some reason was stockpiling certain weapons that the world didn't want them to use. So this is all just kind of like the big storytelling, big epic is like if you took Cleopatra and put it in anime, it's that sort of epic. It's big. There's 8 episodes, but every episode is over an hour long, which like when I first stuck it on, I was like, really? Because anime normally is 25 minutes an episode. So if you work out, like, but what they've taken is each volume of the manga, they've taken a bunch of the chapters and put them together in one volume. And then there are 8 volumes, which is why we have 8 episodes. And that's why they've given us a big chunk of time. Now, I think for those that aren't used to epics, it's going to take you a while to get immersed into the world. Probably a couple of episodes, like 2 hours. Because what they do is they're setting up the world. They're setting up the characters. They're setting up this detective who is also one of the top 8 AI in this world in Pluto. But he's trying to figure out who's trying to kill off these strongest 8 AI robots. And he's on the investigation. And so that is where the story is kind of strung. So you follow him around as he investigates. So it's a big investigation. But because each episode's so long, we get to, in each episode, get a large chunk of backstory to each of those robots and their backstories from the war, from where they are now, whether they want to be a robot, are they actually alive? You know, asking all the questions that we always... Like they pass the Turing test. Are they alive? There's some people that just think they're tin cans, but others know that they are different. All that sort of thinking that I guess us to ask those questions in the most beautiful way. When there is action, it's stunning. It reminds me of stuff like Ghost in the Shell, Akira. There's a big build-up. The final episode is like you've been waiting for. It's like 7 episodes of building up into the crescendo of the big action sequence. But don't just skip to like find the actions if that's what you like in anime. If you like watching shonen anime, which is like heavily, this is a masterpiece in storytelling. And I don't say that lightly. I don't know the last time I've given an anime 5 stars. There's always something that irritates me in voice work, whatever. But this feels like a labor of love. Like I know this was meant to come out last year, like earlier than last year, but I think they kept pushing it back until it was ready. The storytelling in this is emotional, but it catches you off guard because you don't think you're that emotionally engaged with the characters until they're not there anymore. And then you're like, oh, crap. Okay. Wait, it's the sort of thing that you think they can't be dead, can they? They're not actually dead. Are they? And so because they've built up, they spend a lot of time with those characters, you are now worried for the rest of the characters. They're like, oh, if they can do that, then what does that mean for the people that I thought were the main protagonists? And then it comes down to morals, you know, what is right, what is wrong. I'll ask all those questions without being preachy. It's just the storytelling and the investigation. It's like Blade Runner, the series, because, you know, we have that investigation in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But it feels like that. But with anime, you can almost visualize and show so much because you don't have to build those sets. Like, yeah, it doesn't mean it won't take as long, but you can do more in the animation world. And you do. This was a real treat. I was surprised. I was like, wow, good.
Well, because it's all 8 volumes. Is it like just a limited series?
Yeah, I doubt there. So it's very clever, actually. It sits in the world nicely of Astro Boy, and it doesn't take away from all the stuff that's come before or after. It just kind of is its thing inside the world of the lore of Astro Boy. Yeah. and now it's a contained story, and it finishes well.
Nice. Is it English or Japanese?
Both. Yeah, and both are very good.
Oh, okay. Nice. Rock on, dude. Well, that kind of intrigues me actually to start watching it. I may,
but you won't, will you? No.
I might start it, and then we'll see how. I mean,
I'm just teasing.
the 2 hours to get fully invested. While that, I mean, in 8 hours worth of content, that's not that bad. For me, who doesn't watch a lot of anime, that's, I don't know. We'll see.
I think you'll be invested in the world, not necessarily the characters yet. I think that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. First up on my list, I finally got to see this. I missed it. It's still in theaters, and I finally was able to check it out. And I think it hit streaming for you guys, or maybe it's coming out in theaters this week. I don't know, something like that. But Saw 10.
Hey, I saw this as well this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I've seen the first saw that in the theater. I mean, I could barely walk after seeing the first Saw because my butt was so clenched the entire time. I'm pretty sure I saw Saw 2. I saw Saw 2.
I saw Saw.
Exactly, yes. I've not seen any of the other ones. So it was kind of weird to go into this one, but it fits really well because it's kind of like the middle between 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah, it's not a prequel or sequel. It's someone said it's a quill.
It's a quill.
It's
kind of inserted in there a little bit. Yeah, this there's a couple of things that I did not like about it. Some of the editing where there's like some zooming or there's some spinning got to be, it felt a little silly at times to me. But could totally overlook that because I was squirming. My wife and I were audibly reacting to what was happening in some of these kills. Like I thought it was even more terrifying because Kramer is he's spelling it out for each person, and you get to watch something, and then everybody else in there gets to watch this person try and get out of this trap. And you're like, and it's patient, even though the storytelling is quick.
Yeah.
It was, but I was, there are some gnarly kills in this one. And
I mean, that's what people go to the Saws.
Oh, totally.
To see how these people are going to die. Yeah.
Which, and I loved also that in this one, and honestly, I don't remember 2 at all. I kind of remember 1, but the people that we're watching this happen to, there is reason for it. These are not random killings. These are not random abductions. These are things that, they're bad people. And so they've gotten bad things to them, but we also get to see both sides of that story too, and how fairly unfair Kramer is to the, to the people.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, while I was watching, so I was totally rooting for the people to die. I was like, that is so wrong. But then as I was watching, I was like, yeah, but who makes you judge and jury? And how far is too far? Like, is this balancing? Is this equal? Because they were part of something as nasty to something blah, blah, blah. But what he does to them is horrifying.
True, but for these people, I'm fully on board with it. I'm okay,
dude. Chris's darker side.
Yeah, no, these are trash people. So, and the fact too that there is an out.
Yeah, but even if you're an out, what does your out look like afterwards?
But see, there has to be like. It's one thing for these people to just be, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. You're not really contrite. There's no There's no act of remorse in there. There's no lesson to be learned. But now, if you're able to get out of these things, you have a physical reminder of, oh, I need to not do bad things. I need to, because I don't know who I'm messing with at any given point in time, and I don't want this to happen again.
I liked it, and then I didn't like it, and then I liked it again. That's the roller coaster I went on, because I thought, no, so it was always smarter than this. This surely not. And then we got to there, and I was like, oh, it is. Yeah. Sweet.
Yes. I was there for the ride. I mean, it was the tension, I think, was built up really nicely, because it'll, you feel this pressure, and then it slowly increases, and then a clock starts, and it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, it's been rising, and then there's our proper definite.
Yeah.
Please just start sawing, doing something, whatever you have to do. You're gonna die. So, and in my mind, I was like, I'm dead.
Yeah,
there's no ways actually I could on some of that stuff he asked them to do.
No, there was especially the first two. Well, not the first one, but I don't know. Yeah, there was one that that it reminded me of Hereditary a little bit, and I was like,
it's one that reminded me of Misery, and I thought, no.
Oh yeah, no. Mm-mm. Yeah. So if you like to squirm,
it's definitely squeamish, isn't it?
Yeah, this one was good. I mean, did this one make your list?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it did,
yeah. I was like, goodness. So, all right. What's next for you?
Nice. This one was a surprise, and I don't know if you've seen the first season of this, but Wolf Like Me is on, I think it's Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I think it is Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. The first season is on Amazon Prime in the UK. Second season is on Paramount Plus in the US. The second season hasn't come out yet in the UK. Just to clarify for people when they start asking, where can I watch this? But I was lucky enough to have screeners for the second season. I think those in the US can watch the entirety of the second season. So I binge watched, not on purpose, but both seasons, because I had the screeners for season 2. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give a go the first episode of episode 1. I knew Josh Gad was in it. I knew that, what's her name?
Isla Fisher.
Yeah, Isla Fisher. I like them both a lot. And I thought this could be good, but it also just could be bad. Like, the poster doesn't really fill me with, it just looks like drama-ish. So
Very generic.
Yeah, I went in, and man alive, I was hooked. It's brutal in the most emotional way. It starts off, the hook is between father and daughter, Josh Gad and his daughter, brilliant young actress, where she can't talk to her dad for the loss of her mother, and he can't talk to his daughter for the loss of his wife. They're a broken relationship. They're just kind of getting through because of how she died, because of what he did when she died. I think he clocked out for like 6 months, gave his daughter to his sister or sister-in-law for 6 months so he could just go on a bender and basically just drown in sorrow. Eventually sorted himself out, but their relationship has not been quite okay since. In crashes Elsa Fisher's character, literally in a crash. That's how they meet, in a car crash. And she is chaotic, full of life, mental, like just a crazy person almost. But for some reason, Josh Gad and Elsa Fisher, their characters just connect. They are able to talk, feel free just to share things that you wouldn't normally, and he hasn't been able to share. But for some reason, every time he starts getting close to her, she just disappears. She ducks out. She hears a song. She runs away. She's like, "Did you put the song on? Who put the song on?" And she'd like, and it's so intriguing. You're like, what on earth? If you've seen the trailer, you probably know that it has something to do with a wolf, and the whole title's Wolf Like Me. So there's that. I don't know how many series you've watched about wolves or werewolves or werewolf or wolf law, or but there's been a lot from the Teen Wolf series to Silver Bullet, American Werewolf in London. This kind of pays homage to all of that, but puts that lore in amongst if you're trying to fix a relationship. And it's a very interesting mix. It has a really intense kind of pacing to it because the episodes are only like half an hour long. They tick on by really quickly, but it always leaves you on a sort of cliffhanger of what's happening as they start finding out like about her, like what she is. There's a big moment where there's like a reveal at the end of season 1, leaves us on the cliffhanger for what happens in season 2. Season 2 deals with a more connected relationship, but then how do you deal with someone that you're in a relationship with that has this curse on them? And if you're going to have a family, what does that mean for the family? And so that like it just escalates things that you find in day-to-day life stressful are so much more exacerbated. A little bit on the theory, like if your mother's a zombie, you know, we had that Netflix series.
Oh yeah, Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah, similar sort of feeling, but it's the dialogue that is very good. You're believable in the characters. You really are rooting for them. You love them. Like you want them to be able to get through what they're getting through, but at the same time, it's very difficult to see how. And then at the end of season 2, dude, like if you thought season 1's cliffhanger was bad, season 2 just had me going, what? There's no ways. Yeah. So I thought this is just a wild ride. And the transformation, big. Sorry, I'm just...
You're still there.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Yeah. Okay, my camera just shut off for some reason. Cool. For some reason, it's... Wait, what was I saying? I've really been thrown off here.
You're talking about the season finale of season 2.
All right, so it has a big homage to like American Werewolf in London, the transformation of like elongated stretching and like old school kind of how it looks. Yeah. And when you get to see the wolf, really like realistic, but in a, you know, it's not real way, but like almost like the best possible version that you'd want. They haven't gone for the CG look. They've gone for like real prosthetic and makeup and movements, and it looked awesome. I was like, yeah, this is great. They've done much less of less is more, because they don't want to show you the monster much, but they also don't want to like have a terrible looking monster in certain shots. You know, you just really want to keep the presence there. I think this is great and such an interesting role for Isla Fisher to be playing. And Josh Gad as the kind of big frumpy father who just doesn't know what to do. Like he really wants to look after his daughter, but he loves this woman in his life, but now he finds out what she is. And do I protect my daughter from a monster, or do we include the monster in our lives? If including the monster in our lives, does that make me a bad father? You know, all of that. Like, and I was like, I don't know the answer to this one. I don't know what's right here. It's great. It's very good.
Nice. It's on Peacock.
Peacock.
US.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I have this on my list actually to watch, because we like just scrolling through Peacock one time, like just saw that it was on there and watched a little bit of the trailer. Like, well, that might be kind of cool.
It's actually very good. Yeah. Nice. I was very surprised. And it's a really quick binge. So
cool. I'm going to have to check that out because it looks fun. I
gave it 5 stars. So, really? And that's even with the ending on the cliffhanger. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how much I enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's huge then, because especially with the cliffhanger ending. Yeah. And we know how streaming series go.
Like I'm in. Like, I want to know what's going to happen.
Rock on. Very cool. All right. My next one is a Spanish horror that came out on Netflix this week called Sister Death. And it's a prequel sort of to a 2017 movie called Veronica. And Sister Death this takes place in the 30s, I want to say. It's at a convent. This girl, we start out seeing this young girl who is like she's held up to be a religious icon, almost like, she says she saw, was it the Virgin Mary? And so, everybody is like, ooh, yes, and they're bowing to her worship. Yeah, just like you've been touched by God and everything else. And you would then flash forward 10 years, and she's now a young woman going to this former convent, where it's still run by nuns, but it's a now also a school, and she's going to be a teacher. And weird things happen at the school. And what I really loved about this is that for a good portion of this, the teacher does not know what's going on. Nobody, there's whispers and there's gasps and there's all kinds of reactions to things she does or places she goes, but nobody explains why. And so we're right along with her for this ride, because we're like, wait, why did when I wrote my name on the chalkboard, did everybody freak out? What's going on with it? Why did that matter? It's just, the tension that just slowly rises too, I think, which really works, because while we get weirdness, it's not until that final act, that climax comes, and then you see just boom, 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 action after action after action of just horrific things going on. And so then we get to learn why things have been happening, why people are freaked out about certain things, and what that means. And there's small little lines that tie it in to Veronica. And also the sister that we follow, Narcissa, she is then she's she's the blind nun in Veronica that they call Sister Death.
So is it actually officially connected then?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes. Cool. So this was because I had seen Veronica a year or two ago, didn't totally remember it, remembered small bits here and there, but then watch this and I'm like, okay, wow. The atmosphere that's created, especially with the, yes, exactly. You have a lot of white in this. The convent is a lot of white.
The nuns,
The nuns are all in white. Contrasting against the evil that's lurking and the death and the ominous force that just, is around. They use whispers, shadows, thumps in the night type of thing. And you're like,
no.
Yeah, it is.
So it's actually creepy.
It is. And it really, not scary, just unsettling, I
don't know which is worse. I'd rather have scary and be done rather than creepy that just stays with you.
Yeah. Well, it was because it's eerie through a lot of it. You're just kind of like, well, what's going on? And you're trying to figure out this mystery. And then it shows it to us, and it shows us in detail of why things are how they are. And you're like, oh my gosh. And yeah, it becomes nightmare fuel, I guess, in certain ways.
Nice.
But still the thing is that it's all feels more grounded. It's not like this thing that's so far out there that you're like, no. You do have to, I think you have to buy into the lore a little bit for this, just because it's got a supernatural-ish type of bent to it. But yeah, it's very good. Very good.
Yeah, I'll think about watching this. I'm not sure, because I've watched so much horror that I think my mind's my scared level's super high at the moment. I've seen so much at the moment. I'm not what do you call,
desensitized?
Yeah, no, I'm more anxiety level is heightened.
It's okay. So it's not reducing your you can tolerate more. Like, it's like, oh no, I can't handle any more.
Another one. Yeah. Chris, what have you done to me?
Yeah, well, Oh goodness.
I realized what I've done with my camera. So this is actually the FaceTime cam rather than. So I was changing the battery for no reason on my DSLR.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh well.
I guess we'll just keep it as is.
Carry on then, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Funny. Okay.
Oh man. Okay. Well, what's something else on your list?
I mean, that's my 3. I was going to talk about Saw, which we kind of did.
Oh, so, Saw. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm ready to start on our list, but it just depends. Do you have a couple of more?
I have one more, and I want to talk about it briefly because it is Veronica.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I actually watched Veronica first again before
did you know,
I watched Sister Death.
It is kind of set before.
Veronica is 2010.
Was that when it's set?
It's present-ish day. Okay. It starts off feeling a little bit like Wreck. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I don't know.
There was an English language remake called Quarantine, which was not terrible.
I've seen that.
But Wreck is way better.
Okay.
Wreck it's Spanish, and that is if you've never seen that one, go check that one out because but it's a girl, young girl, 15. She has 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. Her mom works a lot just to support them, so she's mainly the caregiver during the days and stuff. They go to school. Well, her dad has died, and so she gets a Ouija board, and because there's going to be a solar eclipse, the whole school is like gathered up on the roof of the school to watch this.
Right.
So her and her friends, Veronica and her 2 friends, use this opportunity to sneak down into the basement of the school to perform a little seance or play with the Ouija in hopes of contacting Veronica's dad.
Good times.
Bad stuff happens. And then from that point forward, Veronica is seeing shadowy figures and ominous presences and
you mess with the Ouija board. What do you expect?
What's crazy is the movie starts out with the end. So it shows cops showing up to an apartment building and people being wheeled out and people crying and the whole thing. I mean, it's just, it's horrifying.
The poop is going to hit the fan.
Yes, but we have no context. Yeah. And we don't know who, we don't know what exactly. We just, So then the rest of the movie is starting 3 days earlier and then going forward to that time period. It follows a lot of the same tropes that a lot of horror movies use, but I was so invested in this because even the second time watching it, because you have innocence in all of these little kids, and when even Veronica herself at 15 is still kind of innocent. She's a little bit naive. And so you have this pureness that is being threatened, and nobody else really understands what's going on. She doesn't even understand what's going on, And so when that threat level comes in and threatens either her or the younger ones, that automatically amps up the oof. And I think probably the thing that just solidifies all of the creepiness that we watch in this, because there is some really horrifying, like you get the silent scream type of things, or when somebody is like grabbed onto you, like in a movie, and they're doing something, they're holding them or controlling them, but nobody else sees it, and you think you're screaming out loud, but you're not. And there's postscript that comes up on the screen. And it's talking about how the detective is like writing up the case a little bit. And this is based on true events. Like there's an actual story with an actual detective. And then it shows some real images from the apartment building.
No.
No. It's so good.
No, why, Chris?
Dude, so I totally recommend watching Sister Death and then Veronica.
Oh, in that order?
In that order. You can watch them in any order. It doesn't really matter. They both stand alone on their own.
Wait, is Sister Death also based on real events?
I don't know. Probably in some way, because there are some of the events that we watch play out could totally be true.
Okay.
Like very, 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 very plausible. Like not even like you could even begin to doubt that part of it. Some of the supernatural stuff, I don't know, but yeah. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, some two good Spanish horrors right there. You know, that you could watch one or go right into the other. Both of them, I think, are under 2 hours. So it is a good time. I think Veronica is better than Sister Death, but Sister Death is still outstanding.
So they're both really good then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So if you need to be freaked out tonight, you know what to watch.
We're going to give you so many things to be freaked out by in this podcast.
Yes. Oof. Okay. What are we? Which one are we talking about? We're talking about
Idle Hands.
Idle Hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about Idle Hands.
Okay.
Half the reason for my makeup. This possessed hand. Whoa. Let's hear what you think about it, because you've never seen it before.
I had never seen it before.
It's a classic 90s. Is it 90s or 2000?
1999.
Yeah, so still 90s.
Yeah. Devon Sawa, Seth Green, Jessica Alba, Eldon Henson, Vivica A. Fox. What?
Yeah.
Okay. This took a little bit for me to get into, honestly. The first...
Well, the intro didn't help. I thought this is setting up a movie that this movie is not. The blood and the gore intro. I was just like, what?
Yeah. And then it had that really long animated like title sequence too.
Did it?
Didn't it? Am I thinking of a different? I don't know. I've seen so many movies. I thought it had like this, like that it took a long time to get. You know, you have the first thing and then it goes into the credits. It doesn't really matter. The gore that we see is impressive. I got to give it that. The practical effects in this are done really, really well.
They're really fun. Yeah.
The story itself is also, and the execution and the presentation of it is very 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is so
the editing
90s.
Specifically as well.
Yes.
It is very 90s. It reminds me of a kind of like a feature-length episode of Buffy. Like, it has that feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's, from a story perspective, there is some massively lacking portions. I think especially with...
What do you need more than possessed hand needs to be stopped?
Vivica A. Fox. That's what I'm talking about mostly.
All right, yeah.
Like she comes in, she seems like her storyline feels
it feels like she was Buffy and they didn't explain why she was there.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I come from a long line of is not an explanation for me. And it doesn't make me care about who you are.
No. It almost would have been better if she wasn't in it and they had to defeat the possessed hand themselves. Somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. Because she didn't, I like her and I thought she was, what she was given to do was fine. But she herself didn't add anything. That character didn't add anything to the story.
No, I agree. Yeah, the fun is where the laziest kid on the planet, who's so lazy, gets his hand possessed because of that, then has his two best friends become zombified, and it's just them.
Which makes no sense.
It does. I guess... But no, because they chose not to go into the light after they were killed by a possessed hand. I guess that's what we're going with.
That's what we're going. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I mean, Seth Green and Eldon Henson, which Eldon Henson was just recently, he was in Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't even think he had a line, though, which was weird. He was just there. But, he's in Mighty Ducks. I mean, that's what I first remember him from, and that's what I always picture him from. But them two together, and really the threesome, Devon Sawa, Seth Green and Eldon Henson were just the ultimate slackers.
Yeah.
But had some really good moments together also. And they gave especially Seth Green, they gave him some wise things to say, which were very smart.
Yeah.
And funny all at the same time.
He does have really good comedic timing, but in a way that, you see where he is now with Robot Chicken. He's done so well. What did I write down? I had so much. There are moments in this that I think make it work, which is why it's become like a classic. That are funny and stupid and that people love to watch. The woman who starts knitting because she's so scared. So right at the beginning we have this intro to
the mom.
Yeah. And she's knitting because she's so scared of what's going on, and it's like, you go downstairs, and the husband's like, no, I'm not doing that. Dial 911. What's the number again?
What's the number?
There are moments like that just really add to the humor and the type of film that you're watching.
Their room, the parents' bedroom, it's actually so realistic versus what you normally see like in a film set.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the cluttered nightstands and the crap on the floor and everything. And it's like,
it lived in house.
Yes, it really did. And you're just like, him being so, Devon Sawa's character being so unaware of anything. I mean, it reminded me of how then Shaun is in Shaun of the Dead, where he's just oblivious,
Yeah, like, there's zombies walking around, and
my parents must have been out of town for a couple of weeks. I don't know or a couple of days. I don't know where they went. I haven't seen them in a few days. But there's blood on the floor.
He's making a salami sandwich, and he's just slapping it on with, the blood, wiping it on the bread.
Yeah, and then, very visceral, very disgusting, but works. And Seth Green with the bottle in his head.
In the head. Yeah.
I mean, first off, that just looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a great costume.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then they use it once as a visual gag.
Yeah.
And I liked that too, because they didn't overuse it. They didn't fall into some trope of like, because sometimes movies would, I think, just take the easy route and say, oh, well, let's get it stuck on everything we can, or let him bump into it, and that's stupid.
Even with the head of the friend, they only used the stuff kind of oozing out.
When he ate the burrito? Oh, yeah. Well, and I'm glad that Seth's character goes, that's disgusting.
And then he goes, I can fix this. Shoves a fork down his spine. I was like, the sound effects as well.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
It was...
But for me, the best thing of this, I have to give it to our protagonist. He's physical theater acting when he's fighting with the possessed hand, I think is brilliant. Very, very good. Like he's really, it reminds me a lot of the Evil Dead character where Ash's hand is possessed. And I think there's a lot of like paying homage and the slapstick nature of it. The classic thing of when, you got to go through that bit to get rid of it. And then the hunter says, well, what did you do that for? That was a mistake. He's like, yeah, we know now. Yeah, because then it's like Thing, but evil. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Devon Sawa did a great job of that, because there's a lot of it where, I mean, you have to believe
he's
it's fighting against
trying to kill him, like I'm pulling him and, like pulling him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even when he's trying to chop it off or something, and it's moving all over the place, and you're just like, wow.
Like he's trying to get it on with the girl that he really likes, and the Thing is trying to kill her, and he's like, dude.
Well, and it even has, because you can't get away with that now.
No, you totally couldn't. Yeah.
Because when he grabs her, and the tone of that story then is, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I
didn't think you had that in you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
A guy so forward. Now you'd just be like, end. You're canceled.
Well, yeah. Well, because I mean, come on, you're sexually assaulting somebody now. You know, which it is, but it's a totally different time.
Now you have to have a written contract, verbal communication. You're like, sign here, please. May I? Yes. Which is not a bad thing.
No. Especially with the trash people out there. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
15%,
some of the kills.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say some of the kills were really fun.
Dude.
Yeah.
The there's one towards the end that I didn't expect it in that way.
Yeah.
I was like, and then you have the commentary with Seth Green and the P-Nub. When they're
I cracked up laughing again. Yeah.
It was. Oh my god!
And his face like, oh man.
The movie got so much better as it went along. It took me a bit to get into it.
It found its feet. Yeah.
It really did. And then it became a lot of fun. I didn't know this until, because I'd looked through IMDb just at who the actors were and everything, and so I knew to look out for him. But Tom DeLonge from Blink 182.
Oh, is he the rock dude?
No. That's Offspring. That's Offspring there. Yeah. Okay. No, he doesn't have a line. He's in the drive-through. He's working the drive-through.
Hilarious.
When Devon Sawa, tells him to take a break, and he, this blonde kid just walks off. That was.
I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh!
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you watch the alternate ending?
Oh no, I totally forgot to.
Okay, because there's this line at the end where they go, "I was expecting big fire and brimstone," and the alternate ending is that it's a shot in a pool area. There's a big hell portal that opens up. The walls become hands that are clawing out, and it was so much darker and scarier. But the director said that the ending that they went for was tonally right for the movie, but they shot this whole other ending, which and it, just like all done, and it was really intense. The thing possessed hands like on top of the the board that you dive off of.
Oh yeah, diving board.
Yeah, and he's like walking towards her. She's hanging from the board and like about to die, and he's about to claim his soul, and then it's our protagonist who's going to rescue. So there's that whole scene, and it's brilliant. You can find the alternate ending online on YouTube if you want to go and watch it, because it's definitely nice knowing that there's this other sort of ending. It still finishes up the same way, so it doesn't change the trajectory of the movie.
But the tone is different.
But the tone is very different, yeah.
And I think, as cheesy as the ending is, the ending that we get, I think it's still stuck with it.
Yeah, it's a little bit frightening in his comedy with the ghost popping in out of the wall. I like that. Yeah, I think it kind of works. It knew what it was and it stuck to its guns. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say it's got 15% from the critics on Rotten Tomato, but it only has 58% by the audience, which that kind of surprises me some.
That surprises me. I know it's got a cult following now, and there's a core group of us, probably just me, that loves this film.
No, I like it a lot now. I appreciate it, and I could watch it again knowing where it's going, and knowing that we get past the very clunky, very rote 90s feel at the beginning, to then get into a movie that finds its feet, knows what it's doing, and then embraces that fully. Yeah, no,
I fully agree. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
All right. What's next?
That's it. We're gonna save the other one to talk about in our audio section.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, we invite you to join us there. Wherever you happen to listen to podcasts, you can find us, because we are going to be talking about Terrified. That is a movie. I don't remember the director's name, but if you saw When Evil Lurks, exactly like that, it's by the same director. This is an earlier movie, and oh gosh, you're gonna rip your throat out there. That's disgusting. But we'll talk about that. We are going to talk about the things that did not make it onto our list. Mine might be the same as yours, except I don't think it is because I think you talked about it before. It's a terrible movie. But we'll also hit upon some entertainment news and give you a list of things that are coming up in the next week that you might want to add to your watch calendar. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe on YouTube, Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday, me, Chris, Movies and Munchies, because you're already on YouTube watching this. But also, go head over to Patreon also for £1. Patreon.com/thebeardedones. £1 will get you access to all of the videos. Like Ruben said, there's over 65, adding new ones each time. We also have other tiers that allow you to request certain things. Like this week, we are talking about the movie The Harbinger from 2022. Kind of surprising, actually. So
also, check out Chris's Twitter, because on there at the moment is a video of a cow knocking people over in absorbing bubbles, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Dude, because you watch it go, and then the camera follows, but then it's in the background later.
Dude, flies!
I don't even know if it's fake, and I don't care.
How is that possible? It's amazing.
Just made me laugh. Yeah, no, it was so good. So good. So yeah, if you do need a laugh, you can check that. It's Movies Munchies on Twitter, but which I talk about lately. I've been obsessed with marmot videos on YouTube, which they're like fat ground squirrels.
Oh.
They're awesome. They just sit there and eat things, and it's wonderful. Anyway, enough about that.
Thanks for that.
Patreon, though, head over there. Lots of different tiers that you can gain access to. With that, we will see you next week. All right? Take care.